Hello, people. Hope you're well. Nice to be with you in spirit. I haven't posted for a long time, but I bought myself an iPhone 12 at Christmas, and I'm really hoping that the quality of my clips is going to be better from now on, because they're usually all fuzzy. Yeah, not the content quality. I hope that they will be better, but it's more the film quality I'm looking at. So I'm going to do a short clip, and this will be my first iPhone 12 uploaded clip to YouTube. So I hope it's good, and I hope I don't ramble on too much, but I probably will. Sorry about that in advance. So I've been reading this amazing book called The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. And he also wrote Think and Grow Rich, and it's really, really good. So I'm going to cross-reference his ideas with Neville Goddard, I hope. I haven't thought this through. I've just got my notes here. Because what I did is when I was reading the book, I just made some notes on each chapter. And there's 16 chapters, 16 principles in the Law of Success. And I read through the notes of one chapter every day. So if you buy the book and you really like it, I really recommend making notes, because there's so much information in there that you are integrating when you're reading it, but it's good to remind yourself of it every single day, because it's very inspiring and uplifting. And that's all going to help you to achieve your dream, whatever that is. So the first principle of the law of success is the mastermind principle. And the mastermind is really, how can I explain it? It's a mind that's created from the harmonious cooperation of two or more minds, a group of people working together towards the purpose of achieving a definite aim. So they're all working together in a spirit of harmony, and through the blending of their minds, a third mind is created. So it's two or more people. So third mind if there's two people. And the third mind is not a brain hanging there in midair. No. And some people do get that mixed up. They mix up the brain with the mind. So the brain's the organ, obviously, and the mind we can think of more as energy. So you're creating this energy through the blending of two or more minds, and you can draw upon the ideas created by this mind to achieve your dream. And maybe some people have experienced that already when they've been working together in a group towards one definite goal, and they've all been very positive and harmonious. And you feel that all these ideas are coming towards you, and you don't understand why. Well, it's because of this. This energy has been created through the harmonious collaboration of two or more minds. Something like that, anyway. I believe it. And, well, two minds are surely better than one, if they're two decent minds anyway. You don't want a mind that's going to drag you down. So it's got to be positive and harmonious. So now I'm going to refer to my notes so that I don't ramble on too much. This is the official definition. The mastermind, a mind that is developed through the harmonious cooperation of two or more people who ally themselves for the purpose of accomplishing any given task. Yeah, so that's more or less what I said, isn't it? Let's see, what else? I'm really, really interested in what he says about the electron. And for those of you who are not familiar with the electron, you are actually, because everything is composed of electrons. It's the smallest particle of matter that exists. And So how do I tie this in with Neville Goddard? I'll get to that in a bit, actually. Just get me through electrons first. So you have the molecule. I'm no scientist, by the way. This is how I'm understanding it. The molecule. And it's not really that big. You can't see it, but it's the biggest one. And then you've got the atoms inside the molecule. And then you've got the electrons inside the atoms. Like a Russian doll or something like that. And so the molecule is the universal particle of nature, I believe I read. So everything is composed of molecules. I don't know why he says molecules instead of atoms, but there must be, maybe the molecule is more complete because it contains the atoms and the electrons. I don't know. Anyway, everything is made from molecules and atoms and electrons. And if you were able to look inside of an atom, which people probably can with microscopes, you would see the electrons, which are negative and positive particles, revolving around very, very fast in a highly agitated state. And the same with the atoms in the molecules revolving around, because nothing ever stays still. We look at things around us, but nothing is ever still, even if it appears to be. Everything's always in a constant state of motion, which is very interesting indeed. And the idea of the atoms in the molecule, the idea of the atoms revolving very speedily around in the molecule is the same, or rather can be likened to, the idea of the planets revolving around the sun. And the energy in between the atoms in the molecule, which is the energy that's making them move at such a high vibrational speed, is said to be the same energy that is around the planets, and they call that the ether. So the ether, which surrounds everything, is the same as what is inside a little tiny molecule. So what is the point of this? I don't know. It took such a lot of effort for me to get that from my brain. The ether is very, very important because it contains all vibrational frequencies, which means it contains all energy that's ever been released from the human brain, the human mind. All thoughts. They don't just disappear, they are there in the ether for you to draw upon. Because this book says that like attracts like. So if you're having certain thoughts about a dream you have, and you're really focused on that a lot, and you're sending this energy out, it's attracting like thoughts in the ether. And maybe some people have had the experience where thoughts just seem to come like a bolt from the blue in your mind, and you wonder, where have they come from? Maybe they haven't come from you. Maybe it's from outside of you. That's the idea of it. There was something else there that I totally forgot. I'll refer to my notes now. Let me find the ether. So the space between the suns, moons, stars, and other planets of the universe is filled with a form of energy known as ether. That's what I said, isn't it? This fluid is a form of energy. One rate of vibration of this fluid energy causes sound, another light, another heat, and possibly higher up the scale, thought. Because everything consists of energy. Everything. Energy, electrons. Electrons are energy. And so thought is no different. We can see the vibrational frequency of sound. We can measure it through equipment, and we can measure heat and light, but we haven't learned to measure the vibrational frequency of thought, and it could just not be there. But that doesn't make sense, does it? That doesn't make sense from a scientific point of view. If it exists, it has to be there. And so Napoleon Hill is suggesting it could be a much higher vibrational frequency than sound, light, or heat, but still there in the ether, still available for us to draw upon. What else have I got? Okay, so within about 50 miles of the Earth's surface, we've got air, and air's a conductor of sound, sound frequencies, but not a conductor of light. I didn't know that. But in the ether is a conductor of all vibrations, from sound to thought. The human brain is both a broadcasting and a receiving station for vibrations of thought frequency. Okay. So every mind or brain is directly connected with every other mind by means of the ether. Every thought released by any brain may be instantly picked up and interpreted by all other brains that are en rapport with the sending brain. So that implies that the similar thought energy attracts similar thought energy. And that's how these thoughts sometimes seem to bolt into our heads, because we've attracted them through the thoughts we're sending out. It is the author's belief that the mind is made up of the same universal fluid energy as that which constitutes the ether, which fills the universe. Two minds come into contact with each other, and that leads to a disturbance of electrons, and the mind is composed of a mass of electrons, energy. And in the process of rearranging themselves in the new field created by the contact, and a third mind is formed from those electrons. The meeting of these minds creates a certain noticeable effect or state of mind quite different from the one existing immediately prior to the contact. A mastermind may be created through the bringing together or blending in a spirit of perfect harmony of two or more minds. Out of the harmonious blending, the chemistry of the mind creates a third mind, which may be appropriated and used by one or all of the individual minds. I think I need my glasses now. It's getting a bit dark. Dear. Oh dear. Okay, let's get back to it. The mastermind remains as long as the friendly, harmonious alliance remains. The electrons of the mind gradually adapt themselves in harmony, or it can lead to open hostility. They adapt themselves in harmony through constant association. But yeah, if it's hostility, it is going to be destroyed. It won't last. It has to be harmonious. Every mind has an electric field depending on the mood of the mind and the nature of the mind creating the field. Every mind is continuously changing. Any individual may voluntarily change the chemistry of their mind. Okay. Just let me look about mind chemistry. So when the minds blend, every person in the group has access to the third mind, which is all the qualities of the people who formed it. The mind is stimulated to a higher rate of vibration, having the effect of a more vivid imagination and the consciousness of what appears to be a sixth sense. It is through this sixth sense, that new ideas will flash into the mind. These ideas concern the subject being discussed. It is as though an outside influence were dictating them. Every mind in the group becomes immediately supplemented and reinforced by a noticeable energy called a mastermind. This energy may be the spirit of the Lord, but it operates just as favorably when called by any other name. Put knowledge to use. So, the mastermind, the idea of the mastermind, the energy that's created through two or more minds, and the electrons made me think of what Neville Goddard says when he talks of assumption. When you are assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So you take on board the feeling that you think you would have if you achieved what you want. And so if you want to be rich, you just imagine what would that feel like, and you assume that feeling, you carry it around with you. And it's the feeling that brings it to you. So if everything is made of electrons, the mind is made of electrons, then what we're doing is we're changing the electrons into a new form which manifests materially through feeling. So electrons can be manipulated through feeling. And it seems that everything is quite set, as though set in stone. But when you look at the science, everything's in this continuous state of motion. So nothing is still. And that makes me feel more strongly that things can be changed through thought. And so much we don't know about thought. And this book was written over 100 years ago. And the ideas to me are radical and logical and spiritual. And when you read it, you feel like he's speaking directly to you. So it's much better than my blathering on, I'll tell you that for nothing. But I've gone this far, so I'm going to try and put it up. So sorry about that, but I just wanted to put something out, and I hadn't thought too much about what I was going to say. But I'm very inspired by the idea of the mastermind and the idea of thoughts being permanently in the ether and available to all of us. So we can we can take old thoughts and rearrange them into new ideas. And we can send out our energy, our enthusiasm for our definite chief aim, and feel assured that similar like thoughts will come back to us and help us to achieve what we want to achieve. So I recommend to find other people who believe in your definite chief aim and meet maybe once a week and discuss the definite chief aim and what you're going to do with your different skills, and just come up with ideas. And then you're going to form the mastermind through being inspired by it, I suppose. And there's power in numbers. Even if you feel that you have to do something by yourself, like if it's something to do with writing, I can understand that because that's what I'm trying to do. You can't achieve anything completely alone. You need help from other people. And we should try and help others in the process. And when we help others to achieve, we are helping ourselves as well. Because the other is us pushed out, really. So it just all makes sense at the end of the day. And brains are like batteries, really. You're going to get more power when there's a load of them plugged in together rather than just one. But make sure you get the right batteries, that's all. Okay, so I've gone on for about 22 minutes. Hopefully some people got something out of this and it wasn't too awful, because I can't do it again. But I will do better ones soon. I'm just not in the habit of this at the moment. Okay, please give me your thoughts about the mastermind, and if you are going to try and form a group to achieve your dream. And what do you think about electrons? How do you feel knowing that you're composed of electrons and that the whole world is just a mass of electrons organized in different groups? Does it make you want to meet one in person, or at least see one under a microscope, which is very, very powerful? I think they're only little circles anyway, but they're so important. And there's a lesson in that too, that the smallest things can be the most important, can't they? And small things can create large things too. So on that note, I will say goodbye and hope you like that, and speak to you soon. Bye.